Hey, what's up, man? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the baddest show ever. That's the Bad Sports Podcast with your man Fonz.
And Quan.
we kind of talked off camera, so as y'all can see, either the rat races, the cat is catching up. I'm just saying, the cat is coming after the rat real bad.
For real, the time is reaching Jerry.
I'm trying to tell you, anybody got $650,000 they don't want, send it my way. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into today's topic. This topic is, let's see, it's a little controversial, but that's what we do. You know, we do controversy here. So, here we go. The WNBA.
Yeah.
The WNBA. Now, let me give a little backstory on this real quick. And I ain't gonna be before you long. So, Caitlin Clark, she was selected first overall in this past WNBA draft. A lot was made about her salary. Personally, I feel like the salary is justified, and I'm gonna tell you why later. But right now, as it stands, her 4-year rookie deal is worth a base amount. Keyword base amount of $338,056. Sorry, I'm tired, y'all. And in year one, she'll get about $76,000 in year one. So my question is, should the WNBA salary be comparable to the NBA salary? And my Quan, I'm gonna let you go ahead and tackle that question, and I'm gonna come back with the comeback.
I'll put it like this: it shouldn't be equal. It should not be equal. I don't think it should be equal, but it definitely should be comparable. Because they're NBA, the male NBA players, and the women's NBA players are professional basketball players, and I think they should both be. I think they should the women should sort of be on a comparable salary to them. There's a lot of things that go into that. As we know, the NFL is a business, and the NBA has a lot of time ahead of the WNBA. The WNBA was established a little later on than what the NBA was, and so forth and so on. So the figures that we see right now, like the Phoenix star Diana Taurasi, one of those, she makes around $235,000 a year. Now, if you compare her salary to the star of Steph Curry of Golden State Warriors, who makes about $52 million for this upcoming season, it's a huge jump. It's just, like I said, once we kind of figure out how to have equal accommodations for the WNBA, and have the same advertisement and have people betting on WNBA, like they do the NBA, I feel like the salary and the way, the salaries and everything will increase. But to say that they should be equal, I don't know. But comparable, definitely. It shouldn't be so much of a huge jump. You're going from $235,000 to $52 million. At least close that gap a little bit more. That way, you won't have these women speaking out about their salary, because not only do women struggle with obviously professional sports, but they struggle in normal, regular society of being paid, which is deep, and I feel for them. I mean, I feel like everybody should be paid for what they're able to do, and these women play basketball just as much, and sometimes I feel like the women play better than some of these men folks. So
that's evidenced by the NCAA.
I definitely feel like their salaries could somewhat be comparable That way they won't feel like, man, we ain't getting paid enough. Hence the why a lot of them go overseas and play overseas, because they're trying to support their families and support themselves. But they can't do that with the way they're being paid. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy, the way they're being paid. But I'll let you put your input on it.
Yeah. So, and that was a good take. I like what you said. Comparable, but not equal. It totally makes sense. So to me, the salary goes deeper than the number that's quoted on Google or the WNBA website. I look at things like TV revenue, merchandise sales, ticket sales. All of those go into a salary. You mentioned Steph Curry has been the highest player in the NBA for a minute now. And going back maybe about 2 years ago, Jewel Lloyd was the highest paid player in the WNBA. Her salary was $228,094 a year. And that was not a year, but her contract. So I was going to go through the whole statistical build-up of this thing, but I got to stick to what I know. So as a kid, when I was a kid, the WNBA was actually popular. Believe it or not. I would see the girls that I went to school with, they was rocking the Comets jersey or the Mystics jerseys. I would see that. But over time, it did not sustain that popularity. One, because we never see it on TV. But look at the NBA first. The NBA is on ESPN. It's on TNT.
ABC.
ABC. ABC and ESPN. They brothers and sister stations basically. Right. They're owned by Disney. Right. But you got to think about it though. You can't complain about a salary. Then now I'm speaking to the feminists. Now I said it before we was off record. I said I was gonna be nice and mean at the same time, but I gotta call it like it is. I've seen too many videos on social media with feminists talking about it should be equal. It should be this. And cannot name a team. Cannot even name a player from said team. I checked the statistics out. This is a couple of weeks ago. The 2023 WNBA season was the highest rated season ever. In their about 25 years of existence. We can count the playing stages as well. It was the highest rated season ever. There were teams in the WNBA in the early 2000s that would hang banners, not for championships, but for selling out the arena. Mm-hmm. Washington Mystics, that was the team. And then too, you had some great players that came through the WNBA. Players like Lisa Leslie, players like Rebecca Lobo, players like Dawn Staley, who just won a national championship with South Carolina.
Right.
So not only does the WNBA, it's going to be a while, because if I'm not old enough to remember, but the NBA, was they had about a 48-year head start of the WNBA. Now the NBA pulls at or over $10 billion a year. $10 billion. The WNBA pulls $60 million.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
there's a difference between billion and million.
It sure is.
The average salary for a NBA player is $9.6 million. Mm-hmm. And press pause. The only reason why, and I forget dude's name, the only reason why Caitlin Clark's salary became a question is because I forget dude's name, but he came out the gate. His rookie contract is like $9 million and some change per. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ticket prices. WNBA tickets are dirt cheap. But here's the kicker. They don't tell you when the tickets go on sale.
You're right. Exactly.
That's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
viewership. These are, now mind you, these are 2022 numbers. Excuse me, I got tongue tied for a second. But back in 2022, the NBA Finals averaged 12.4 million viewers. WNBA, 412,000. Attendance on average 17,184. That's for the NBA. WNBA, the average is 5,679. So these same people who's complaining about the salary is not going to the games. These same people who's complaining about salaries, they not watching. The same people who's complaining about salary, they're not buying the merchandise. So revenue plays a big part. And here's the thing that bugs me. I see the interview. This was maybe about a year and a half ago. It was Draymond Green. And I want to say it was Lisa Leslie. And they was talking about that then. And in so many words, they got a strong no from the NBA counterparts. First of all, the NBA created the WNBA.
Right.
The NBA gave y'all the money to start. They said, look, this is how you do it. You take that and you do that. In my opinion, the WNBA did not do that. They rested on their laurels. You had one team, the Comets, I believe, won back-to-back championships. And then for about 15 years, it fell off.
Right.
So, in my opinion, the WNBA got to withstand the longevity. The NBA, I don't want to say the WNBA started in 97 or 98. By that time, the NBA had Hall of Famers, superstars, marketable players. My thing is for the WNBA, y'all gotta get your weight up. And then the people who's talking about it needs to be this, it needs to be that, it gotta be this, equal rights, blase, all types of misandry. Please watch the games. That's what we did as kids. We watched Kareem and Magic and Larry and Hakeem and Jordan and Drex. We watched all that.
Right.
Watch the games. Go to the games. We live in North Carolina. DC is I think DC has the closest WNBA squad. If y'all feel that badly, go to a game.
Right.
Tickets are dirt cheap. Go.
Yeah.
But my thing, and I'm gonna close with this, and I'm gonna be nice. But don't sit there and say it's a problem, but yet you don't offer the solution.
Right.
We can now, on this platform, we can share our opinion about it. But at the end of the day, it's up to the people who's complaining.
Right.
That's my take. I can go all day with that.
Yeah. Definitely. And let me just say this, and then I'm done. I'm not going to say let's just throw more money at the women.
No,
I'm not saying that. But I want the NBA to, or whoever makes these executive decisions, to start trying to build structures of equity that will cause wages to rise. So that means equal training facilities, equal travel accommodations, equal revenue sharing, equal publicity and promotion. You know what I'm saying? For an example, you've seen the major soccer league, how it expanded over the past decade. And people were betting on them, betting on the games and buying merchandise and stuff like that. But as you can see, soccer is starting to expand more than it has over the past 10 years, at least. Way more. but
Yeah.
that's because they're being invested in. And like I said, this whole thing is a business. And Fonz was talking about revenue. According to Bloomberg, the WNBA will bring in roughly 200 million in both team and league revenue. That's nothing.
That's barely enough to keep the doors open.
That's nothing compared to what the NBA is bringing in, and that's 10 billion. But like I said, the NBA has got at least like 5 decades of a head start, at least 50 years of a head start. But the NBA is bringing in what was comparable to what the NBA was bringing in the early 70s. That's what they look like. The current NBA looks like the current WNBA looks like the NBA in the 70s. So,
but not to cut you off, but what did the NBA do? They made it marketable. They made it must-see TV. They changed rules. You know how many rule changes go off every year? Even in 2K, you can. Even in 2K, like if you sim the season or sim like maybe about 5 or 10 years, they put rule changes in the game.
Right. Yeah.
So rule changes are there to not own. It's like the NFL. The NFL is prioritizing offense over defense. Why? Because offense sells tickets. But defense wins championships. But offense sells tickets. You're gonna get paid good money. Not even good money. You're gonna get paid great money. So my thing is with the WNBA, and I'm not bashing. I'm just speaking my mind on it. It's like y'all got to follow the plan.
Yeah.
The plan was given to you.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not to get all biblical, but it's about the parable of the talents. Oh. You know, the person left each one of his servants an amount of money and said, "Go do what you got to do."
Right.
Everybody else multiplied it except one, and the people that multiplied it was the ones that got to keep the money.
Right.
So my thing is this: at the end of the day, you have the thing is you got the facilities, you got the equity there, you got the facilities to do it. Now let's do it. But on the other side, you got to think about the college kids that's coming out now with the NIL deals. Like Caitlin Clark, she was already a millionaire before she even signed her name on that contract.
Right.
But at the same time, if that's your profession, by all means get your money. But at the same time, the WNBA and the powers that be within the WNBA need to take a hard look at themselves. Instead of asking why.
Figure out the solution.
You could present the problem all day.
Right. We obviously know the problem.
We everybody in the world knows the problem. Right. Now it's time to offer a solution. You have everybody at your disposal to create a solution that's not only going to be beneficial for that league, but it's going to be beneficial for the teams as well as the players. You have that situation. You got it good. You came in the 90s when money was just being thrown around.
You're right.
Why do you think the NBA could afford to give you money?
Exactly.
Come on, man. You got it.
Yeah. So the end all be all, honestly, is once the investments and everything become big, then I believe we'll see the pay gap being closed between the WNBA and the NBA. But until then, the business they can't pay more than what they make, and
exactly,
everybody's in America. Everybody's in business to make money most of the time. Even the non-profits are in it to make some type of money, but nevertheless, we got to start supporting the WNBA. We got to start voicing these type of opinions or facts, because most of them are really facts, with the salary numbers, and try to figure out a way to promote this just as much as you promote those NBA playoffs. Promote the WNBA playoffs just as well.
Right.
And also put your top tier players on the pedestal. Like let them get them commercials and stuff like that and bring in some revenue. That way everybody can be paid and we can get over all of the pay gap situation between male and female athletes. And I really hope it happens, man, because honestly everybody deserves to be paid, no matter if you boy or girl or
for sure
whatever. But it's just a matter, it's a lack of investment, so you got to find a way to make it happen. Do I see it happening in the next 2-3 years? No, I don't think so. I think
maybe
like
2-3 decades.
I think like Fonz said, it's going to take time for the NBA, the WNBA, to catch up to the NBA. And I don't really think they'll ever be able to catch up because the NBA is just the NBA. I'm sorry. It's already established. It has everything going right for them. So it's really not going to be so much. That's why I said the salaries can't be equal. It just can't, because the NBA is bringing in tons and tons and tons of revenue. Mm-hmm. But eventually it'll be somewhat comparable. Eventually. When that'll happen, I do not know. But yeah, the end all be all is investment.
And the feminists, I ain't gonna apologize for what I said, because it's straight. I gotta give it to you like I gotta give it to you. If y'all stop complaining and come up with a solution. In WNBA, if you see this video, hey, y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do.
Right.
But with that being said, we can go ahead and clock out right here, man. Look, great show, man.
Yeah, man.
And like, listen, if y'all join the comments, get in discussion, man. Let us know what y'all think about the NBA salary. Were we sort of going on the right path? I mean, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let us know. But as always, man, we appreciate y'all, everybody that tune in, everybody that likes and comments and shares. We very much appreciate you guys, man. Again, I almost forgot. Go on Facebook and join the Backboard Sports Podcast War Room, where we always chopping it up, man. We always talking. Somebody posts something like that dog on Ezekiel Elliott. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
Unfinished business.
I'm not even mad at
that. Is funny.
I ain't even mad at Zeke for getting his money. But I'm mad at the Cowboys for that way. Like I told Jays, shout out to Jays, man. We was like, we had a little discussion in the war room. He was like, like, why we dumping on Zeke, so to speak. I tried to clarify. I said, no, it ain't Zeke I'm dumping on. It's the Dallas Cowboys organization. He put
that star helmet on, and it's up. And it is what it is. And he don't need to go home drinking no 45 mil highlight. No more. He be all right. They're gonna take care of business. They're gonna go 12-5, and they're gonna lose to the 7th seed.
That's what happens when
they've been doing it for 30 years. How can I do it? How can I trust you to do more if you ain't changed in 3 decades?
They not trustworthy, but we gonna go ahead.
Falling star.
They used to be that shining star that Earth, Wind and Fire was singing about.
Oh boy, that boy.
Well, we gonna go ahead and clock out, man. Look, thank y'all for watching. This has been the Bad Boy Sports Podcast with your man Fonz
and Quan,
and we out, y'all.